Hello, this is Eve Christoph, your Love Life Advisor, bringing you home to Eden, where we are ushering back in the time of the Divine Feminine. I've become a Love Life Advisor mainly through psychic readings and all kinds of other simple, helpful tips. So, what qualifies me to be a psychic advisor for you? This is a great question because it's really important where you put the authority, you know. I think that we can never really put our authority in anybody else's divining, because your heart, your spirit knows better than anybody else the complexities that you're dealing with, right? But there are times when you need to know something and you've already gone over and over again through your own knowing, through your own mind, and you've had premonitions and inspirations, and you can't sort it out very well. So where I come in is by having a connection that I've developed throughout my whole life, a long lifetime of talking with spirit through many different modalities. Sometimes it's been automatic writing, and sometimes it's been dreaming on behalf of people. Sometimes it's just been rapid fire clairvoyance when I'm around people. But what happened for me is it pretty much started when I met a great sage from India, a man named Muktananda, and he was in a state of complete enlightenment bliss. To be around him, you would actually feel what they call Shaktipat, where he would look at you or touch you, and then what happened to me is my Kundalini was awakened, and it went firing up through my spine and into my consciousness. And that was at age 13. And so I, from then on, was sort of thrown into a deep meditation practice that I could not resist. So I would meditate 2 to 3 hours a day, along with chanting, starting at 4 a.m., going into the wee hours of the night, sometimes more chanting. And I would enter these states of ecstatic consciousness that I didn't want to leave. And at a certain point, I realized that I wasn't developing the skills to be socially involved, to be financially stable, because I was spending so much time meditating while everybody else was going to college, developing their careers, getting married. And I made myself stop meditating so much in order to get in touch with this world. And along the way, people would still find me for these secret psychic readings. And I didn't have the courage to stick myself out in public as the full gypsy that I am, because I come out in public as a gypsy enough as it is. But I got feedback from the people who did get these readings that they felt their lives really, really helped. And at a certain point, I felt that my life was starting to stagnate because I wasn't following my full destiny's request of me to do that weird thing that other people are not doing so much, which is to be a channel for divine wisdom and goddess, mainly goddess energy, coming back to the planet. She's coming. Here we go. We're ushering her back in. It's actually a wild thing where, they say where paradox exists, that's where there is the divine. Where there is paradox exists the divine. We're in this nightmare right now, this meltdown from climate change and wars and lack of trust between different tribes and political parties. At the same time, it's the time when the divine feminine is finally returning. And only in this state where we've seen by having departed from her feminine values, we've basically almost destroyed the earth within 200 years, when her deeper, more magical, mystical way lasted millions of years. So let's get back to her, okay? Another way that you can understand what happened for me, why I'm pushed into being here, more here for you, because it's time and people need help from the divine now. They need to know what to do with their lives. Where have they been? How can they return to the blessed level of your path, of your higher self, right? Well, I was feeling so lost for a while from having not followed my instinct to go ahead and be public about being a psychic diviner, that I realized I needed a life-death rebirth. And so I took myself to Mexico and I did a Bufo retreat, which is a kind of a psychedelic that is really, really dangerous. You have to do it with experts who are there with you to get you through it. But I didn't really care if I died because I felt like I wasn't living my life yet. So I wanted to risk whatever it took to find my courage, to find my soul's awakening again. Since and I probably should have never stopped meditating as much, because in the pure meditation I was able to go right there. But basically when I did this Bufo retreat, it was 14 days and it was 9 death and rebirth journeys, near-death experiences twice. And I was able to remake my relationship with my sacred contract on Earth, and my DNA negative stories. I was able to rewrite them. It doesn't sound possible, but it is. It really is. And so since then, I dreamed right before I left on the airplane to go do this retreat that my third eye would be blown open. And that's what happened. It did. So I'm here now, available to give psychic readings for you. And please call. Okay, 413-625-8275.